Hi guys, as a short, this is gonna be a long video, so please grab snack, drinks, go take a bathroom break before you watch. But hope you sit through the whole thing. So basically, this is my one of my devices I have, which is a splitter. The splitter goes to this goes to my computer. This end goes to my computer right here. This one end goes to an HDMI switch I have, and the other one goes to OBS, and or to another HDMI switch that goes to OBS, and then the other one goes to the other side of the room. I'll get there. Right over here is another one. It goes to my Apple TV. I have another one that goes from my Apple TV to OBS, and also to a monitor, the one that's right in front of the fan. And then the other one goes to the other TV on the other side of the room. And I have another one of them which goes to the computer in the back room, and then the monitor below here, and that's it. And I have another one that goes from my main monitor to the other monitor on the other side of the room. And basically, what's back there is my 5-port 2.5 gigabit switch. What's also behind there is the RE adapter, which is a HDMI extender over Cat 6 or Cat 7. And then over there is my capture card, power supply for my Rodecaster / HDMI switch is behind there too. And then my USB hub. And over here is my UPS I have hooked up everything to, and then my switch. And then this is controlled with Home Assistant, and also the net over there is the data cable to my computer in the background. And so going to the main setup is this is a 32-inch 1440p panel that I have hooked up to the computer's HDMI 1 port, and then this is hooked up to HDMI 2. This is also acting as an OBS capture, as a secondary screen that goes through a HDMI adapter that goes behind here. That's behind here. That is hooked up to OBS. That's hooked up to here, and also OBS on to the capture card, so it splits onto those things right there. And then I have these two speakers that are cheap that I just needed it for audio purposes. Here I have a HDMI switch that goes to this adapter right here, that when I press that button, I can switch in between the computer in the back room after pressing on the power button on the Stream Deck to turn on that thing that has hooked up to a smart plug, or between this laptop. When I pop power on laptop, I can basically switch in between there. I have a power cable there just for testing computer stuff. I also have usually the HDMI cable would be usable where I can just unplug it from actually there and plug it into the computer, and then plug the USB adapter that's right in there into the computer. And those the computer in the back room, the laptop cable, and the Mac cable is plugged into this adapter. The keyboard and mouse are hooked up to there, and that one cable's hooked up to number 3, which you don't see the light because it just stays on there, which is hooked up to this input port right here, which when I press this is the Mac, this is the computer in the back room, and this is the laptop. And so that's just there. And when I need to control the computer, laptop, or the Mac, I can basically press that button to switch between keyboard and mouse. And since this is the same computer, keyboard and mouse, I don't have to change stuff. I just have to change batteries. I have extra batteries there just in case these ones die. I have the Rodecaster here for audio that the speakers get piped into the Rodecaster, and then the audio from what comes out of this monitor is piped into here, not the Mac stuff, but just the audio from the computer in the back room and this laptop. And then there's that. I have this fan here to keep it cool when I'm not recording video, because it actually gets super hot in here because of, with those two screens it gets hot. With that light it gets super hot. With light on behind me it gets super hot there too. And Rodecaster laptop also super hot. I have these PDUs here just for power distribution, and only some of them get turned off. This one gets turned on because I have a power cable that goes to there for my laptop. This one's being used for a computer to hook up to. My Electro Voice is there for my microphone, and then my web camera, which got knocked down. Ironically, this camera is usually facing that way. And going over here, which is, if you look over here, I have a computer monitor over here, well, TV, and this TV is acting as the main view over here for when I'm not setting it over here for computer stuff, and I want to do music production and not just want to play the piano. I have the piano right here, which Logic / GarageBand loads up over here, and then GarageBand and Logic are over here, so I can do that. And then when I press on this stream deck over here, OBS would call OBS Photoshop, it will load up OBS scene, so it gets recorded onto the OBS scene that would be on the main screen, which is the mirror of this screen. So when I draw it on this screen, which is being recorded on OBS, I just can draw here without needing to mirror this part over here to that monitor over here, just to save just to save some time. I mirrored this over here just so I can plug this into there and I can draw on the secondary monitor. And since it opens up all the way, always on the second screen with the what's that software called? Keyboard Maestro. It just does that. And then this camera is for overhead cameras facing down, where basically I need to do some unboxings. I just move this monitor out of the way like this, so I have more space. And if I need to play the keyboard more easier, I can pull this forward and just be done with that. And then GarageBand and Logic are on the stream deck, so there's that. And if I'm basically coming up with ideas or just trying to write something, I have some kind of music playing on this TV just for inspiration. And then I have this mat here just for covering up the imperfections of this specific desk, because of where it was at. There's like cuts and stuff on this desk from actually doing my model stuff. I messed up the desk, so there's that. And then if I need to just stop drawing, or I don't want to basically work over here anymore and I just want to work back over here, I just get up out of this desk. I have two exact same chairs. This one, same exact chair as this one. So when I'm done with everything, I can just turn on this stream deck and press where it says display off. So what that one does is it turns off this, because this smart plug is the smart plug that's controlling this monitor. Is hooked up to here, to this monitor, and this monitor with a quality power splitter. I forgot what I think it's something Numa 13, I think it is, I don't remember. the actual model number. So those, when that power button is pressed, it turns off that one and that one. And then when I basically have this one over here, this one also turns off, which it basically is hooked to a power strip that turns off this camera, turns off the monitor, turns off the TV, and it turns off the little power brick for what the Stream Deck is plugged into. So when I press the power button on here, or when I press the power button on there, it turns off that, and also which in turn turns off any USB stuff plugged into it, which is this MIDI keyboard, and also the webcam, and also the Stream Deck, and the drawing tablet USB data. Because if I didn't control that, this monitor would blink like forever until it's unplugged, and I just wanted to save myself sometimes from unplugging and replugging each time, so I just saved it. So there's that. And what I wanted to like do was basically run that cable behind there, but I can't because of it's too short for where I wanted to put it. And this one I can't run behind there either because this is also too actually short. So this is kind of in the way sort of, if I'm just if you're looking at it this way, but I can still use it because it's a bigger screen. And so these cables are basically as managed as I would get them. So this is an HDMI cable with a loop, so it wouldn't basically droop. Over here's another loop which has a HDMI adapter connected to there, which is connected to my drawing tablet right here, which is connected to this adapter right here using an HDMI cable I had hooked up to this thing, because I usually would use that to unplug from the laptop to plug in like a tablet or iPad or whatever. And the iPad allows me to AirPlay there, the iPad screen, or I can just hook it up directly there. And then this fan is controlled by this switch right here, which allows me to turn it on here if it gets too hot. And there needs to be air circulation, because if you've noticed, there is this monitor, those two monitors, and that TV are on. So, but when I'm basically doing music production, it's either this monitor and it's either that monitor and those two right there, or I was thinking about making a separate multi-action where it will turn on this and turn on this and this. Turn this and this separately, and just have one turn them all on separately if I need to do some recording over here, and just have one turn this one on over here, or have one to turn these on separately and this on separately, and then the third one to turn them both on separately, and then going into the Stream Deck. But that one is just a idea I had, but it probably won't come into fruition. So just going back to the Stream Deck is I have display on, display off. So this turned on all four displays, and everything over there, and these two monitors. Then I have display one, which switches the input for this monitor over here, and to input one, which is the Mac Mini. Display two basically powers on the smart plug that's plugged into the PDU behind this desk. It will turn on PDU, which will turn on the blue thing up there. and it will switch input to actual there, and also on. And also, display 1 would also turn off that if I'm already on display 2. It will switch to display 1. It will switch to display 1 and turn off the display 2 HDMI thing over there. And display 3 will do the same exact thing, but display 3 will switch me to HDMI 3, which is my Apple TV. And then the sound is basically just turns on the speakers for my Rodecaster, and I have to make sure I have my Rodecaster on first, which is usually a thing I basically do. But what I want to do is basically get a black shell for the Rodecaster, so it won't let any light out. So I can basically turn off. So I can basically plug this into put this over my Rodecaster. And so when I basically turn this off, that's off, and my Rodecaster would stay on, and I can just leave it on unless there's power outage. Then there's this one, which is my record button that I made. It shows recording, and also basically blinks red when it's recording. And so then there is start recording, which will do a whole bunch of multi-actions just to start the recording. And there is lower, which is my lower third thing. And for the camera, switches to the camera view. Mac, which switches to the Mac view. Unbox, which will switch to the unbox view. So this would basically, Cam would switch to this camera and do some camera stuff, and then Mac will switch to this display, and then Unbox will switch over to there, which I have. I won't be using this one over here because I don't need to have access to Unbox over here. I just had over here just as a I just didn't remove it. And what I'm going to replace this with is the turning on that monitor separately and turning on this monitor separately. And then there's laptop, which is basically just the cable over there to that thing over there. That's up over there. The little blue thing and the laptop. So when I press this button, I can switch in between my laptop and the computer. And then there is Switch, which will switch to my Nintendo Switch with all my games on there. And if I need to change a cartridge, I can just change a cartridge. I was working on a device to switch out cartridges without the need of basically reaching over there. That was my idea. So I've been working on a prototype for that. Then there's Apple TV, which will switch to my Apple TV. And then there's tablet. Tablet basically when I have my tablet plugged into the computer, and then when I have my tablet plugged into the computer and it's on, it'll basically run the script command using the thing I'm about to talk about after I finish talking about this. And then there is white. It is whiteboard. The whiteboard is basically what you just saw me show you over there. That's on this screen and on this screen over there. Because of what I made it so was so I can draw in there. It opens OBS. And then there is short 1, short 2, YouTube. So short 1 and 2 are basically the ability to like do shorts with a web camera and without. So short 1 is with a web camera and short 2 is without. So, but it's still in a vertical position. Then YouTube allows me to open my YouTube folder with all my YouTube videos in there. Then there was light. It turns on the key light and also the light back there, the light behind me, and also the one you see. And then also there is Firefox, which is basically the browser. I can remove that. and just put that into my dock. Then there is Firefox links, which will do a couple things. So with this Firefox links, there's Plex. It will open Plex folder. It will open up status. It opens up my Reddit, and also my Gmail, blog, some other papers and stuff like that. Home Assistant is an example. So, which how some of this is working. And then YouTube channels I like with like these ones, they're multi-action. The YouTube channels, when I click a YouTube channel, it basically, for example, like DOS Dude 1, it would bring up DOS Dude. It'll basically bring up the YouTube search page. Type in DOS Dude and press enter as you're pressing tab. So there's that one. And then I have one called Open Screen Copy, which allows me to connect my tablet to the computer with the USB. I can also do the same thing with my phone. Then there is Zoom, which I use for phone stuff. So if you want to talk to me on Zoom, just contact me on YouTube or email, and I'll send you a Zoom message. Then there's RDP, which is for remote desktop protocol, allowing me to remote into Windows PCs when necessary. Same with TeamViewer for remoting into computers. And then the other one, which is Start Editing. This one mostly is using thing I'm going to talk about after I finish all this. And then Handbrake, ForeDrive, and then ScreenFlow, and then System Preferences and Sleep. So Sleep button is basically just to sleep. So let me just turn on this stuff to actually get to here. So basically, let me just get to here. So let me just launch a Keyboard Maestro. So with Keyboard Maestro, most of the stuff that I showed you, for example, the close editing will exit out of editing software, and also exit out of the Finder and relaunch it. Next one, which is drawing, which will open up. So I'll go through actually what they're related to. So basically, the first one, which is basically drawing. So drawing is basically one Keyboard Maestro key that I actually had set up for this. So when I click on it, so what it does is it activates Photoshop. Once it activates Photoshop, it will basically pause for 3 seconds, then do Command N, and then pause for 3 seconds, do return, pause for 3 seconds, hit return to open up Photoshop, and then it will do a move and resize font window. Move and resize front window to the secondary screen to the left, which is this screen. And so when I press it, it opens up here and it becomes full screen. So next, which is basically let's see. So it's Quit Photoshop. So I'll go to that one next. So Quit Photoshop is pretty simple. So if Photoshop is already active, it will basically leave it in the front. Then it will do Shift F9, which will do a hotkey in Photoshop, which will quit the current window. Wait 2 seconds, and then it will basically run a quit Photoshop automator script. I can basically just quit it with basically Keyboard Maestro, but I decided to use automator with instead. And then the next one, which is screen copy, which is basically the close button. So basically, so what this one does, it activates screen copy. Then it will do Command Q. Then it'll basically, which will quit it, but which will leave a terminal window open, and from there it will activate terminal or launch terminal, and then it will activate it, and if it's already up, it will leave it in the front, and then after that it will quit terminal and close it gracefully. So there's that one. And then the screen copy open is basically the same exact thing, but it opens screen copy because it's a file that is a executable file in using brew, and from actually there, it waits 2 seconds, then it moves it to the left screen. So if I need to basically do some actual stuff and want to record this screen, I can basically control it on this screen by turning with the mouse over here, just so it'll be over there in the corner. And then after that, it will minimize the terminal window. And so this will minimize terminal window, but basically, and with actually the screen copy, which will just close it, will basically bring it up to front. And then I have screen flow start, which will basically bring screen flow to the front, and then it'll wait 33 seconds, and then it'll press Shift Command 2, which is the start recording, and I applied it to a Stream Deck button, and I gave it a one that is a normal button. That is a normal virtual button that I have right here, which is transfer. So transfer is a really different one, which is what I do with this one is it will open the hard drives, which is Vault 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then it will move them in 4 quadrants on the screen. So left corner, top right left corner, top right corner, bottom left corner, and bottom right corner. And then when I do transfer quit, which is because this is basically for when I need to transfer stuff to like each folder from another folder. That's only when that's being actually used. It would basically open them up, and I can transfer to each separate folder if I need to without having to invoke a move copy using the copy software. And then I have it force quit and relaunch Finder, so it would quit without issues. And then this one, which is pause. Pause one is basically just a command. Shift Command P, which is the hotkey I used in what's the software called? ScreenFlow, to pause the recording and resume it, and that does. And then I have this one, which is just it puts the computer to sleep, but I found that it didn't work, so I removed that. And then for the overlay one, which is basically just it does it in OBS only, which is for when you press the Alt pad 9, which is which basically plays the overlay. I just decided to add that into keyboard Maestro. And then the next one, which is main display. This one is the actual main display, which is it will load Photoshop on the main display. So if I need to like do like keyboard and mouse editing, it would basically bring Photoshop. It will open Photoshop on this main display or the main display over there, which is the same exact thing that you're seeing over here. And so what it does the same thing as the one for like the secondary screen over here that opens it up over here. It just opens it up on the main screen. And then for full screen, this one is I don't think I'm using this one, but let's see. Oh yeah, I was using this one for certain things. So this one activates OBS and it presses Alt Pad 6, which is this keyboard pad right here, and it press Alt number 6, and that would basically just make OBS full screen. Now I have one for multi-view, which is for the multi-view, which is pretty much the same as like button, but it will do command 8, which will put it into multi-view. That's another way of doing that if you wanted to basically not use Automator, but it's got some prerequisites. Is you have to have the keyboard, the OBS software for the OBS Lua plugin that will allow you to set hotkeys. And then there is OBS. So the OBS one is the this one I just have set up to like do some stuff I was doing with like that. So why I have this one set up is because how I had it was I had Stream Deck type in open OBS, which would basically bring it to the foreground, and then once I brought it to the foreground, I had it press enter then escape, and I didn't like that. So basically instead now I just have OBS come to the foreground with keyboard Maestro, and then I have it press escape, and it escapes from full screen. So it escapes out of what's that thing called, out of multi-view, and I can then quit OBS that way without it doing that. And then for the last one, which is I didn't do stop editing. Stop editing does this. So like stop editing quits and launches Finder, and it also quits iMovie. And the same thing can be done with basically Final Cut. I use Final Cut too, but so basically I'm just showing you the iMovie one because I just wanted to make sure it worked. And so I have one for iMovie and also Final Cut because I use both of them equally as much. iMovie's just for home videos, and Final Cut for like YouTube videos. So then there is the one that says editing. So what editing does is it basically opens the editing software, and it will move it to basically a certain spot on the screen. In this case, it'll move it on this side of the screen. Then it'll open the Vault 3/video/edit, which is where I have the video stored for that needs to be edited, or basically that needs to be transferred, and that is my that's the ZF, and then it moves up to the top corner. Then I have one that says video, that's on my main storage pool that I have stored stuff onto, and then it launches in Finder and stuff like that, and one goes here, and then the editor goes over there. And so, and after all of this stuff gets edited and stuff and exported, then the exported video gets saved onto the Vault 3. And once it gets saved on the Vault 3, I can then send it to Vault 1 with like a copy software copy automated script that I use for through basically the iCalculator, and so it just moves there, and then it quits after I'm finished. And so there's that. And so going back to the Stream Deck is basically some of this is kind of basically like this is meant for if I need to re-encode something so it can be imported, because I've had trouble importing stuff into my video editor when something wasn't encoded right. This is for copying. This is just for screen recording when I'm not wanting to use OBS, or something about OBS and I don't want to use a camera. This is my screen system preferences folder. This one is just the start editing. I'll actually show you honestly. So let me just so as you can see, that one's open. So that's open right here. So if we go on to this Stream Deck, you see how it says quit Photoshop right here? When I press it, it quits. And it exits out of Photoshop. And now, let me show you what the other one does, which is this one right here. So let me press that. It opens like this, and if you see this, it says stop editing, so press that. Stop editing. Closes that. So going back over here, since I didn't actually since this one is only over here, so if we look at start Photoshop right here, so you see right there, it's a start Photoshop. I didn't press it. So it starts Photoshop. Then once it starts Photoshop, it goes over here, goes on there, and then moves up here. So yeah. So now if we press this again, quit Photoshop, it quits it. So sweet. That's what that one does. And so now going back over here, it's if we press the sound would basically switch on these speakers sound switches it off. And so that's controlled with a smart plug. And then this one, which is display 2, is over here, also over there too. So you can press this, it turns on the display. Oh yeah, that one only is over there. So if you look over here, it's the main thing over here. So, and now if we press this button right here, which was on this Mac. So now, if we take this mouse right here, and then point it here, we can control. Skip version. Okay, so basically, we can control this right here, and audio from here would come through the roadcaster if it was on. So would the Apple TV. So if we click on this, it turns off that, and then it switches the Apple TV to this, which is being over here, which is going through that thing over there. So it's getting picked up here, because you can see right here and here the same exact things. And there are usually the same things if I press display 1. So display 1 is basically here and here, and this gets piped in to the HDMI right here, which one is getting piped into the capture card for like OBS. So there's 3 ports on here. This port is connected to that little green box up there, which is going over there, down there, to the little box over that's behind the monitor. And then the other one, which is basically this cable coming from here, which is coming from the switch that's behind there, to that same box, which is getting piped into this little cable here. The little gray and black cable. And the other cable that's coming from that thing is getting piped into the HDMI switch that's right there, behind there, which is getting piped into the capture card over there. And then that gets piped in OBS, so I can basically record this screen, which doesn't show anything on this screen, which usually has more information stuff on there, like documents and stuff like that. So instead of me just showing that screen and having to blur it all out, I have a separate browser loading up on this screen just so I can capture the browser stuff on this screen, or just capture this screen by basically moving applications that I want to capture over here with basically keyboard maestro. And then this one opens up YouTube. This one just opens up shorts. And so allow me to record shorts. The last short I did wasn't basically from this setup. It was from my phone. So, and then there is light, which if we press this one, it turns off that light. And it turns off that light if it's off. If it's already on, if it turns off. If it's off, it turns it on. If it's on, it turns it off. And so when I press the light button, so yeah, normally I could just say, Alexa, turn off light. But that's if it's usually off. I can basically just press this, and we have lights. And so, and I have my other stuff working. So I have my other stuff working. So so how the smart plugs are interacting with this, because I've actually got everything down to a science where basically how I had this before. I had this Stream Deck connected to this computer, and so the signal, I had some API calls going from Stream Deck to a website called voicemonkey.io. It's free still, but then I had to go from voicemonkey.io down to my Echo, and from my Echo, it did through the routine, and then it went to the IR blaster that's there. The IR blaster sends it to the HDMI switch that's down there behind the fan, and then from there it switched. So there was late latency there. So what I did was I removed the echo. I removed voicemonkey.io, so it wasn't going out. It wasn't going out. Then 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 in to out, back in, just to do it. That it just went from, it just goes from the Home Assistant app through the Stream Deck. It goes to the Home Assistant plugin through the Stream Deck, and then it goes to Home Assistant, which is running locally on my computer. And that's running on my NAS, and then from actually there, it goes from there back to the computer. So instead of going out to the internet, back to here, it goes through my network, and it basically lowered some of the latency where basically it was going out and in and out and in. It's going from one computer on the same network to another computer on the same network. And since I don't have to have internet to like you use it, I can basically switch in between here without the need of the need of a without the need of internet. But the problem is, this isn't a ATEM. It's technically an ATEM replacement, but it's more convoluted, because with the ATEM you just have to hook up a USB. You either hook up the USB or Ethernet, and then you can just give it the ATEM a like IP address name. I mean the IP address, and then it just works. And then you can control ATEM with like Companion, and or like oscillator, and then just using MIDI then. So you could do actually that, but how I did it was just, it was more convoluted to wait till I do actually that, because you would have to, you would either need a Stream Deck, which if you're using Companion you would need a Stream Deck anyway, so just not including that. But you would need VoiceMonkey IO Premium, or you can just use the free one and hope it's still supported. You would need a IR blaster like the RM Mini Pro. I mean the RM Mini, and then you would need a HDMI switch that has IR if you want to do how I did this, or if you just had the Companion, you just need the ATEM, Companion, the Stream Deck, and a active internet connection or an active IP address, which would be less of a headache. But basically, since I actually already had most of this stuff, so like the HDMI switch I already had for another project, but that project fell through. And then I already had the capture card for capturing stuff in OBS. And then the IR blaster I already had for controlling my TV. To be specific, that one over there. I can basically say, if I don't want to have that monitor on, or without having to press the button over here, I can basically just say, turn off, I could say, Alexa, turn off Samsung. Okay. Or Alexa, turn on Samsung. Okay. And so we get that. And plus, if I need to turn off this monitor from here, I can just either press out the power button if I don't want to use actually that right now. But normally I have a secondary monitor always hooked up to like there, and I always have something on there just for for stuff. So either it's this screen has web browser on there, or it has Apple TV on there if I have the roadcaster on. And if this TV is not on, and so, and oh yeah, this is my Elgato Facecam. I went to upgrade to the Elgato Facecam 4K, but I figured out that it's not really worth the upgrade just for 4K, but it would involve a lot more processing on this computer. So, and this computer is just my old M1 that I'm actually using with until my Mac Studio gets repaired. So my Mac Studio is kind of needed to be repaired because it was actually just been the workhorse, and this has been my secondary computer that I have Mac wise. I have two. I was gonna get a Mac laptop, but I just decided not to, and because I don't actually need a Mac portably, and so this one just is my secondary workstation that I use for basically other stuff, and I end up it's kind of a backup now, and so it's kind of a backup now just in case my Mac Studio fails, which it did. And this is my other Windows computer. It's a Windows laptop that I have for it has a 11th gen i5 in there, 6-core 12 thread, 8 gigs of RAM, 8 gigabyte DDR4, and it also has one USB-C, 2 USB-A's. It also has HDMI, no Ethernet. But the only problem with this specific laptop is I had a bad Wi-Fi card, so I had to replace it with an Intel one. This is a Asus something an Asus Tough panel that I have. This is a 24-inch random, 27-inch random panel. I forgot what the model number is, but it's a really good one for the price. Only cost $70. This one was like $300. Let's see. The drawing tablet is a Huron Canvas 13, so $200. The TV was about $300. That one was $300. It's bigger. Yeah, actually it's bigger. Looks bigger. Then the C920 was $20. The camera up there was $94. The stand for the camera was $100. Stream Deck over there was the Stream Deck over there was $149. The MIDI keyboard was about $5. The mouse pad was $10. Roadcaster was a $400. These were about $16 a piece. I have two of them. The Mac Mini, if the studio is here, is about $2,000. This was $600. I mean, this was $600. This was $200. This was the stand, if you want to know, was one I got for like $6. This camera was $100. Microphone was a $400. The UPS was $120. The stand was $30. This fan was obviously cheap. It was actually super cheap. So I actually got it just to keep the room actually cool. I was gonna get a better one with like IR so I can control it with that and the stream deck itself. So there's that. The web camera, the capture card was $200. The cables, all these cables comes up to maybe about $400 in just cables, because there's HDMI cables. There's the first HDMI port on this laptop, on this computer has one HDMI cable going to it, and then two going out to like there. This one, the next one, which has another HDMI cable going to it, which is the second port, has one going to there, one going to there, one going to that drawing tablet, and one going to actual OBS. So that's three. And then the HDMI cable going over there, and then the HDMI cable here, and then this HDMI cable that's going to here is going up there. The little the HDMI to HDMI extender, that's the little green box, is hooked to, was like around $50. If we're gonna see how much time it took to set up most of this. Oh yeah, also last thing that I have is these headphones. They're the HD600, the HD650 that I use. So there's custom cables on the 650, so there's that. These Logitech speakers were like $90. Probably was actually more than I wanted to pay for them. This keyboard was $20. This mouse that I have right here was around around $60. Now I got it for like $30, but $60 now. The amount of hot glue I used in here was about $10 worth, because I hot glued this down. I got these these pulley tab things at first, and so I found out that those were getting kind of expensive and hot glue was cheaper. So I have some here, some on those things that are on the wall, but hot glue was on this. It was on most of these things that are on the wall, like there, because I had to hot glue them because I ran out of these, and I didn't want to go and spend another $6 on more of them. And I basically bought 4 packs of them, and I used them all. On this one specifically, around about 3 of them were actually used on here to like get it to hold down, and I finally gave up and just used hot glue after that. Because right now, if you look like this, it doesn't move. And then this monitor has a modification where basically I took a little bit of hot glue and put it on here, and so just to like hold the actual tape on there, just to cover up, because this part is silver, and I put some electrical tape on there. I also went through like around $20 in electrical tape to make some actual cables, and also make it so stuff could stay together. For Velcro, about $20 worth of Velcro. And then smart plugs were like $9 a piece. There's 3 smart plugs back there. So smart plug for these speakers, smart plug for these 2 monitors, and I think there's one other thing I don't remember. So smart plug for like those. And then I have another smart plug, which is over there. So there's those. So I can control everything with the press of a button. And so there's that. And also, this desk was basically was a studio desk, and so I actually had I wanted to basically use this for that TV because the TV fit like perfect on there. I wanted to like use the IKEA desk over here, but then I basically ran into an issue where I needed my PDU space. So I basically used it for its intended purposes of holding rack stuff. So I pivoted with rack stuff there. Um, for all of this, I think I spent some actual a couple, basically maybe like 600 hours just setting all this up properly with like re-changing everything, and I'm actually happy with like how it is, and so I might not change it for like a while. So now going back to the audio, not audio, I'm going to my network stuff. So okay, so before I had this on the other side of the room plugged into another UPS, so I basically, because I couldn't basically, since I didn't have, so this yellow cable goes to my room for my data, and so since it was on the other side of the room, over there, where I'm pointing with my thumb, I would have to basically have it over there, but I gave it enough length in the back room here that I could basically just run it over here. So I ran the power cable for here to here, and so this is the HDMI, the USB. I mean the Ethernet switch that is 2.5 connected here, which is going to the 2.5 gig port on this modem. And so I can go down here to here. And then I have this cable, which is the gray cable. This gray cable goes to my server, and then this one goes to the computer in the back room. So it's all on the same VLANs. So also, as you can see, it goes over here, around here, over behind the shelf right here. And then it goes here. This is the little other end of the box. It's the transmitter box that goes in the room that hooks this computer to the monitor in the background. I mean, in the room. And so basically, this is an i5 610 400, 32 gigs of RAM, and then 4 Iron Wolf hard drives, 4 terabyte Iron Wolves, 4 terabyte Fire CUDA. Let's see, 3 1 terabyte SSDs, and that's it. And then the 4 terabytes are getting upgraded to a 12 terabyte because I actually need more space. This computer has no GPU because of it saves on power. And then going down here is where I have my UPS, which is this is for the computer. This is for this little adapter right here. And then this is for my batteries. I keep charged for my keyboard. For my keyboard. And this is the printer I use for just printing documents I need. And it basically is on a smart plug, so I can say, Alexa, turn off printer.
Did you mean printer?
Yes.
Okay.
Alexa, turn off printer.
Okay.
There you go. It didn't hear me. And so, basically, I can print and stuff. So, and just normally I have my, this is a, printer from 2006. So, it's a super old printer, and they don't make it anymore. And, it still works. So, I'm happy about that. So, I have a charging station for charging stuff like my drill, and also my cutter, and also my screwdriver and I also have my blower sitting here occasionally when I'm not using it, but I was using it earlier, so yeah. This is a Fractal Arc MIDI. So since I wasn't basically using the front panel header because of I actually couldn't reach it because it's actually too high unless I actually did a camera like actually this and plug stuff in. I didn't want to do actually that, and so I basically took stuff I would normally plug into the front, plug it on the inside, like take the actual USB header, and then wrapped it in tape so it wouldn't short to the case. And then I basically did this until I can actually resolder the wires so there's onto the USB directly instead of to the PCB that it came with, and then just run them in there. And so how I have it now is that the PCB's on the side and the front, and then the USB cables for the printer, for the hard drives are connected into the front panel header. Since it's just a backup drive, that doesn't have to be super fast. So yeah, and all the thing that needs to be fast is on USB 3. But that's just there, and I hope you liked it. This has almost been, well, with this part, it's been an hour long, so thanks for watching. Bye.